So, Ed, tell me about this movie of yours, Reboot Camp. It's incredible. I watched it already and I cannot wait to watch it again.
It's so much fun. I got to credit my wife, Rochelle Carson, with bringing me the project. She, like me, were friends with uh, David Lipper. And so it was great to hear about this project he was working on. But she said, well, he's got a part for you and I both. We could work together. And I love working with my wife. So I said yes to it right away. Then learned that David Keckner was involved, my dear friend David, other friends, Eric Roberts and Eliza Roberts are in it. And I just was drawn to it right away. And David is so funny, and the director Ivo is wonderful. It was a great concept, and it was improv, so I didn't have to worry about learning lines really. You just kind of learn the backstory and then go from there, and it was great fun.
That is amazing. I love your role. You were just so adorable and funny and just such a joy to watch, like you always are.
Thank you, Sammy. You're so sweet.
Thank you. And tell me, how would you describe your role? I know you said it was a lot of improving, but how would you describe your role?
Well, I'm a husband to a lovely lady that we have a bit of challenge in our marriage. We've gotten a little bored with each other, and so we're taking each other for granted. We need some help to rediscover what we have, if anything, if it's worth saving. And so we go to this reboot camp, and it's kind of like, I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of like the movie The Producers. They're going to go to expose the industry, this kind of self-help group, you know, industry, and they wind up being successful at it, in spite of their best efforts, like making the play The Producers. They kind of Springtime for Hitler. They kind of they're more successful than they thought they would be.
It's nice, nice. And you work with an all-star cast. I mean, like you said, David Lipper, you've got you obviously, who's incredible. You have Chaz Bono and Shar Jackson. Tell me about working with these incredible people.
Yeah, I love Chaz too. I've known Chaz for years, and so it was great to work with everybody on the movie. And they made it very easy. I had like 2 easy days work, I think. It was just they kind of contoured around my schedule because I was working on a bunch of other projects at that time. But David and Ivo and everybody worked it out. So Rochelle and I came in and got to jam with those great people. And as the improv movies like that, like all those Chris Guest movies I've done, there's no script to learn. You kind of learn the story from a 25-page outline. And from there, it's like having a chord chart as a musician. You know what key it's in, and you just kind of play different notes within that key, the way the chord chart dictates, and you wind up with a nice piece of music if you're lucky.
Nice. And what was the biggest challenge about filming this?
There was no difficulty whatsoever. It was filmed in the San Fernando Valley where I live, so that's always a big deciding factor for me. Is it geographically desirable? Is it GD? And it was. And so we got to work there. And also what the actual location was historically was appealing. It was Frank Sinatra's old home. He had a home, as I knew, in Beverly Hills for many years, but he also had a little valley hideaway. It's a spacious, wonderful house with an incredible view. So we got to film there, and that was a little bit of Hollywood history and valley history.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. I hear it's gorgeous there. So I am so living vicariously through you that you got to film there and live there. And I hear
Yeah,
it's incredible. Chaz was
great
actually
fun.
telling me about that last night. And I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, it was great.
And what do you want people to like about this movie? I mean, like I said, I really like the story behind it and the reboot camp and again the all-star cast. But what do you hope people like from it or take away from it?
I hope people have a laugh. It's a funny movie, and I hope they are entertained by it, but it's also about something. It's about being skeptical of some of these groups that promise you the sun and the moon with their cult and what have you. It's about being cautious with such things, but also there's a balance to also be open. If there's a group that can help a person, that's certainly possible too. There's people out there that have done things in a group setting that have been helpful to couples and individuals alike. So I try to be balanced myself and try to, be cautious about involving myself with any group. But if there's a group, like let's say 12-step groups, I happen to know help people all across the country, different 12-step programs. So that's something that I'm open to. But there are other groups that are, less than exemplary with the way they deal with money and lots of other things and personalities and power. So you want to be cautious of that. So it's a funny film, and I hope people have a few laughs and take some time to think about it too.
Nice. And you also have another project that you're working on every week that everybody loves, Young Sheldon. How'd you get involved in that?
I love that show. I love the kid Ian who's in it. I had seen him in Big Little Lies, and he was great. Then I heard he was playing Young Sheldon, and no small task that to play that wonderful character. When the kid was younger, is just great, and they do such a good job. Chuck Lorre is a great writer and producer, and Steve Milaro is a showrunner, shows up on the set every day and keeps it going. And he somehow was drawn to my character. I was just supposed to be in like 1 or 2 episodes, I think, but then they wanted it back for some more and some more. I think I've done about 12 or more episodes at this point. I just love it when I get a call from them because I love the show. I'm a fan of the show. I watch it regularly because it's funny, it's entertaining, but it's about something. It's about, human foibles or what have you. And it's kind of a love letter to the people of Texas too, which I like as well. There's a lot of good people out there in the heartland of America, and it's lovely that they are celebrated and the theme of this show.
Oh, absolutely. And if your character, or should I say, when your character comes back, because I think he's going to be a big part of the show in the next few seasons too, where do you want to see him evolve?
I have no guidance for these great writers. They are so gifted at finding out where Dr. Linklater is going to go next, how Sheldon will respond to him and how Sheldon will initiate things with him. I just do what I'm told and learn my lines. They're so good. There's another great thing about the show. For a man my age, I'm 71. They give me the script weeks in advance, which I love. I can still learn lines, but I need more time to do it. If I need to learn 5 pages, I have to have at least 5 days to learn 5 pages now. Not like when I was younger, I could learn 5 pages in, a couple hours. Now I need the time and welcome it. And they always give me the script well in advance. So I just love everything about working on that show.
Yes, and we love your character here too. He's one of our favorites. So, and I like the episode that you that just aired. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago with him, Sheldon, and Mima were doing the science experiment.
Right, wasn't that great? Looking for the neutrinos, evidence of neutrinos emanating from the sun. And that's the thing about the show. If they do something about particle physics or what have you, they get the science right about neutrinos or muons or bosons or whatever they're talking, quarks and what have you. They always have it right, and that's something for a science geek like me. I always love seeing that they got it right.
Yes, yes. I'm not into science, but it's good to know. It's comforting knowing that they get it right. Because I always wonder that on television shows, are you doing things right? Are they doing things incorrectly? So it's comforting, they got something right, and I love it.
Me too.
Yes, and your chemistry with Annie Potts is incredible.
She's the greatest. To work with her, I've been a fan of hers for many years, and to get to work with her on a fairly regular basis. Most of my stuff is with Ian, with Young Sheldon, but I occasionally have a scene with her with the great Annie Potts. So that's always a delight. I worship her.
Yes, and actually, my mom is going to be called Mima next month when my sister has her baby, and Annie Potts' character was the inspiration for that.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that. So, and what else are you working on? You got any other projects on the docket?
I got a couple of other projects, but I signed an NDA. I can't talk about it. A movie with a lot of wonderful A-list stars that I just did with a great director. And then also I'm doing a TV show that's returning for another season, a very popular TV show that I can't talk about. They want it to be a surprise that my character comes back. So I will adhere to that NDA, of course, but I'll be able to talk about it soon. I'll make sure and come back on with you, Sammi, and talk about it.
I love it. I love it. Right now, we'll call it Super Secret Project.
We'll call it just that. Wonderful.
Yeah, and one thing I like to ask the people I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Fun fact for me, I love gardening. It's one of my joys in my life when I have time off. And at this age, I still work, but I have a lot of time off too. I also love carpentry. I love to build things with my hands. I made my dining room table. I made a nice chest of drawers I'm looking at right now with dovetail joints and a nice piece of work. I'm not a master carpenter like Harrison Ford, but I'm pretty good. And so I can make things. And that's always a treat to make things that my children and probably even my grandchildren will have.
That is amazing. I got to get some lessons for you, both in gardening and building things, because I've always wanted to learn both. So,
Two joyous experiences, I can tell you.
I can't wait to learn. And since we're also a TV site, what are you watching on TV these days?
Oh boy, I've seen some great movies. I've been watching. I saw White Tiger. I saw um, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I saw, um, gosh, The Father is brilliant. TV shows. Uh, I watch Better Call Saul, of course. I watch Ozark. I watch. You know, I go back and look at shows I missed in the past, like Broadchurch or Happy Valley. Great shows. Um, I like to watch TV and I like good stuff. And oh, Fargo. I've rediscovered Fargo. I saw the first season years ago with Billy Bob Thornton, which was great. And Keith Carradine and other dear friends are in it. It's a wonderful. And somehow I forgot about it or it took too long to get to season 2 and I didn't get back to it. I've been rewatching Fargo. Oh my God, what a great series. Do you watch Fargo ever?
I have not for a long time though, but now
Oh
you've
boy.
inspired me to start over again.
And Chris Rock's season is so wonderful. You know, Ewan McGregor's season is wonderful. It's all just so damn good. I love the show. And I could start back at the beginning and watch it again. It's that good.
Yeah, that you've inspired me to do it. I'm going to do it. So
Check
I
it out. I
cannot
think
wait.
you'll like it.
Wonderful. And where can we follow you on social media so we can keep up with all these super secret projects?
It's Ed Begley Jr., Ed Begley Jr. That's how you can find me at Twitter. I'm there. And what else? EdBegley.com. Just go to EdBegley.com and that'll connect to me.
Beautiful. Well, I'll send you a follow. And thank you so much for taking the time today. I truly appreciate you.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Good luck with everything.
Thank you, Sammy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.